I'm Eric Wright. I'm the superintendent for Hays CISD, and we are an extremely fast growth district just south of Austin, Texas. And we have 24,338 kids as of yesterday. And we have 3,500 employees, about 1,500 teachers. And our mission is that Hays CISD makes it 100% possible for every kid to get the skills that they need so that they can achieve their future dreams. I have a requirement that all of our administrators are in the classroom at least 60 minutes every single day. I really just wanted the visibility because I wanted the teachers to know that administrators were there for support and that they were going to actually be in the classrooms on a day-to-day basis. And if they saw something that they needed to be able to provide more resources or actual support, then they would be able to do so also. But really just for affirmations and to specifically pinpoint areas that we need to get better. And so when we saw Bullseye, we felt like the Google Sheets that we were utilizing before were not really specific. They were kind of random. They weren't necessarily targeting what we needed to target. We felt like we could do more customization with the product than what we had, and we got really good feedback from our administrators. And so what I've heard is that people are happy not to have to duplicate multiple walkthrough forms, and so that's been a really positive piece from my perspective. Yeah, well, Hays CISD is unique. We have highly affluent campuses to 90% free and reduced lunch campuses. And so one size fits all approaches definitely don't work here. As campuses created their instructional playbook strategies, all the strategies were different from campus to campus. And in one particular walkthrough form that we were creating was really broad and generic, and it wasn't really taking a deep enough dive to be meaningful. We wanted to go from just really checking in on visibility and simple things like posting objectives and having turn-in talks or peer collaboration to something deeper. And so we went from basically having their own campus walkthrough form and a district walkthrough form, and we've progressed now to where it's all incorporated within Bullseye.
Each campus had to have their own district form, and then I would pull and use like import range formulas to get it all onto one sheet to calculate it. And then if they wanted their own campus form, a lot of people were duplicating the work, and they'd go do their own campus playbook and then go check boxes on the other ones so that the numbers would count, so to speak. And I think this transition has really helped us move to giving more meaningful feedback.
Just the specificity and the ability to take walkthrough data and turn it into instantaneous feedback. It just kind of enhanced what we were already doing. On the surface, to me, it just made more sense. We weren't going to be duplicating our efforts any longer. We could get to more specificity, and it made it easier for the communication between the administrators and the teachers because they could give feedback in a couple of different ways. And so we weren't having to do double work, much more efficient.
And I would say we had a very fast implementation, very fast. Like once we signed everything, the support the company has given us has been amazing, because it's like you started out our call saying, "Hey, I got your email. We'll have it ready today." Like, just that turnaround has been great. At the beginning of the year, we had a couple PD opportunities for principals, and really it was the first couple of weeks of school. Get in and use the system and see what questions you have. And they were able to figure it out. It's a very intuitive platform.
In my opinion, I think they were very receptive because once we gave them an overview and explained how feedback would be given, I think they were appreciative that we were putting it into place because we are a TIA district and everybody wants to be TIA now. And so the quicker you can get feedback and then monitor and adjust your systems, the better scores you're going to receive and the better growth your kids are going to have. And so it all dovetails nicely together because in some of our Title I campuses, a TIA distinction could mean an extra $16,000 a year for you. And so I think we're hitting at the right time. So we became a TIA district several years ago, and so now they see the benefit of getting that feedback and the coaching opportunities, and they see how it can impact them personally as well as professionally. And then we already, like Emily said, we already had the culture of walkthroughs. And I don't think they saw the value in the previous system. I saw the value from the administrative side. I don't know that they were getting the feedback that they needed, and now I feel like they understand what the administrator was looking for during that particular walkthrough, and they're getting instantaneous feedback compared to the system we had before was kind of hit or miss. If the principal had an emergency and they didn't document it or write something down, or they weren't able to talk, then they may have forgotten about it. And so, all the things that principals have to do get in the way sometime. And I think this platform has allowed us to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity for feedback.
And then teachers know once somebody comes in my room, there's going to be feedback waiting for me. And it's not a Google email that may or may not get sent. So one of the things that this system has offered us that we didn't have before was the ability to do next steps. That has really made this feedback conversational and not one way.
I want to show you the district dashboard. And Dr. Wright, I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but this is an overview of the work that you all have done at the district. And this shows that there are over 7,300 sessions taken so far this year. I can't even begin to explain to you how phenomenal. To me, this doesn't just say that people are using software, like that's fine. This tells me that people have built habits, that they have deep belief that that habit is impactful, and that there's like a cycle of that because they are continuing to do this every single day. So of these, 6,725 have been feedback, whereas there have been almost 600 self-reflection sessions, which is also really interesting to see. Most schools have visited almost every teacher at their school. But you can see here that at Live Oak, for example, 100% of teachers have been visited. And then we can see the number of sessions at each school. So just seeing, Barton Middle School with almost 700, Simon Middle School with almost, 660. So really just unbelievable consistency. And it's funny because then it makes these other schools that still have over 100 sessions, which is also phenomenal. They look like they're the low adopters, but they're still phenomenal adopters. So it's just, I get really fired up looking at this. And finally, I'll just show you, this is session types per school. So this just shows you the different type of data that's being collected so that if we did want to drill deeper into, where are people doing some of that self-reflection and learn from where, people are really taking the autonomy to drive this where they want. For example, Barton Middle School doing some self-reflections, and then also Simon doing some of those narrative. We see that the folks are making choices for themselves. And so I wanted to just share this data with you and maybe just summarizing over 7,000 sessions is phenomenal.
I'm just excited to see the use and that our culture of walkthroughs has continued for the visibility side of things.
But really, I think to the point of being a high flyer, being on the top end of that list is highly visible. The students know, the teachers know to expect campus administrators, and it's a culture of learning and a culture of growth, and we're going to work to get better. There's something that everybody can work on, and that's the culture that's set up at the campuses.
Yeah, and what I see the positive from this is the C&I team, the content support specialist and the campus support specialist now can mine the data and go in and find themes and actually go in and support in the moment a lot quicker. So instead of waiting till the end of the year and then having professional development in the summertime, we can address the problem and provide support a lot quicker than we used to. Well, for me, I always look at student achievement data, and so we have curriculum-based assessments. We've seen, a lot of growth on the student side of things. And so, that's always your hope, is that what you're doing with adults is going to translate into something positive for kids. And our data is indicating that that's the case. Yeah, and I meet monthly with my teacher organization presidents. And when we first rolled this out, they were like, all right, Dr. Wright, talk to me about this. Why are we doing this? And after I explained the value to teachers and that it wasn't going to be additional work for them, and it's not a gotcha situation, it's an opportunity for us to provide instantaneous feedback and coaching so that they can improve and also hopefully be able to earn the TIA distinction. And, so as we've evolved, that I've gotten good feedback that teachers appreciate that. So I would recommend it just because so many of our teachers are coming to us now without experience, or they're coming an alt cert route versus the traditional route. And if you're not able to hire somebody with a lot of experience, it provides data and opportunity to provide instantaneous feedback so that you can coach as you go. Well, and it's like I said, it's a coaching opportunity. And so we would much rather grow our people, especially in this time where we have major teacher shortages, and give them an opportunity to grow than find ourselves at the end and we've failed them. And so this gives us an opportunity where if they're willing and they have the capacity and the skill set, then we can give them feedback and we can help them grow as their students continue to grow as well. If you already have a culture of walkthroughs in your district, this will help streamline the process, and I think you'll find that you'll gain a lot of efficiencies, and you'll see that your teachers will grow and your students will grow.